Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time on this Wednesday night. Lovely to have you guys in here for another episode of the show. By the time that you are seeing this, that sounds like one of those messages from the future in a terrible, terrible sci-fi movie. By the time you're seeing this message, I will be in the air on my way to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, because the Titans play Thursday night football against the Steelers, which of course you are all well aware. But what you are not aware of is that I'm a dope and I booked my flight to Pittsburgh at 7:40 p.m. Central Time, which is why this is a recorded primetime show. But nonetheless, we're happy to have you guys in. Need you all to share the broadcast around before we get started on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, wherever you spend your time with us. You know how this goes. If you're on Twitter, please retweet the show. Bottom right-hand corner of your screen is how you do it. Facebook Live, share now to public. That's in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. If you're on YouTube or on Twitch, like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all of those things. Tell a friend to do the same. We always like having new friends, having more friends. So invite somebody to share the primetime broadcast around. Come hang out with us on this Wednesday night. As more of you continue to do that, we'll go ahead and get this thing rolling. It's an abbreviated primetime show because you know I'm traveling, but that means that there's a football game right around the corner, and I know you guys are excited for it, given that the subject of tonight's discussion is young William Levis. Welcome into A to Z Sports Primetime from the Zen Sports Studios. I'm your host, Buck Rising. I'm proud, as always, to be presented to you by Zen Sports. Plug in that promo code ATOZTN and get in on all the action that Zen Sports can provide. Again, ATOZN in the Zen Sports app. The law offices of Amanda J. Gentry, wherever justice demands. Amanda J. and her team have you covered. Go to AmandaJGentry.com to get your constitutional rights protected. True Math Fitness in the Gulch. You know that the best workout in Middle Tennessee is True Math Fitness. You know that your first workout is free at TrueMavFitness.com. Go to TrueMav Fitness today. Levis coming in to Pittsburgh with the opportunity to do something that only one other quarterback in the history of the Tennessee Titans Houston Oilers franchise has ever done. Your Two Rivers Ford take this evening is simple. What are your expectations for Will Levis in Thursday night football? Who do you think has a better game between Pickett or Levis? It's presented by Two Rivers Ford, powered by Ford, driven by people. Go to Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet for quality American-made Ford vehicles and award-winning customer service. So Kenny Pickett is for sure going to play. Confirmed that to Steelers media yesterday, and we know that Will Levis is very, very much in line to make his second career start. Levis or Pickett is the question, and the answer is both quarterbacks are probably in for it, right? We know what the Steelers' defense is. It's one of the best in professional football. We know that the Titans' front, if you give them a lead, can make your life an absolute unmitigated living hell, because once they can just sit there and tee off on you is when you start to see Jeff and Harold and Arden and all these other players feed off of one another and truly get out there and eat. We had Arden Key on the radio show on Wednesday, and you can hear that wherever you get your podcast. He was fun as always. And we talked to Arden Key about how impactful he can be. But Will Levis has the opportunity to do something that no other rookie quarterback, or only one other rookie quarterback, I should say, has done in this franchise's history. And that is get back-to-back wins in his first two career starts. For those of you who want to guess which quarterback in franchise history has done this, I'll give you some context for what it is that Will Levis has already done while you tell me who you think this other quarterback is. Levis debut the last week, or in last Sunday's game, 19 of 29, 238 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. If he starts, and when he starts this game against Pittsburgh, he becomes the 11th rookie in franchise history with 2 starts at quarterback. Within the franchise's Titans era, Levis would join Vince Young, Zach Mettenberger, Marcus Mariota, and Malik Willis as the only 2-game rookie starters at quarterback. So by now, many of you have made your guesses as to who the only quarterback to get wins in his first 2 starts were, which Will Levis will have the opportunity to do on Thursday. Levis will attempt, and this is courtesy of the Titans PR's supplemental notes. Levis will attempt to become the team's first rookie signal caller since Steve McNair to win each of his first 2 starts. McNair did so in the final 2 weeks of his rookie campaign in 1995. Because you'll remember, Steve wasn't a day one rookie starter. Neither was Levis in this particular situation, but he's basically, and we'll see what they do with Ryan Tannehill's health situation, he's basically going to have the opportunity to play the second half of the season, provided that he stay healthy. And to win in Pittsburgh would be huge. To win in prime time would be huge. To win against this defense would be huge. But we know that this Titans team is going to need to win away from home. They have yet to win a game that is not at Nissan Stadium. They are undefeated at Nissan Stadium, but they have yet to win away from Nissan Stadium at any point this year. And so we're going to see how much Derrick Henry can help Will Levis, how much this offensive line helps Will Levis, and how much Will Levis can help himself by playing. I understand that it's going to be tough to play a better game than he did on Sunday, but it doesn't have to be 4 touchdown passes or more than 4 touchdown passes to be a better game. He has to operate more cleanly. His footwork has to be better. His intermediate passing has to improve, because he's got to be able to move the ball down the field and extend drives, because the Steelers are going to have this tape and they're going to expect the DeAndre Hopkins, Will Levis connection. So how you find ways to mitigate that while still playing to his strengths is going to be something that remains to be seen. Now, we know that Derrick Henry always shines in prime time. He has appeared in 20 total primetime games in his career, including regular season and playoffs. He has totaled 1,913 yards, 18 touchdowns on 382 attempts. That's an average rushing yardage total per primetime game of 95.7, including the regular season and postseason. It's the best in the NFL since the beginning of the 2000 season among those who have appeared in at least 10 primetime games. His number is more than 7 yards in front of the next closest player. That's former Colts running back and Pro Football Hall of Famer Edgerrin James. So we know that Derrick Henry, if you give him a lead and if you allow Derrick to play to his strengths, is going to be an asset for Will Levis against the Steelers. Now, at least the Steelers have to prepare for something other than Derrick Henry, right? Now the Steelers have to prepare for a downfield passing game, and they'll be without Minkah Fitzpatrick. So how they find ways to mitigate this are going to be fascinating, and how much better Will Levis can be from one game to the next on a short week is going to be fascinating to see. Then there's the idea of Kenny Pickett against this defense. And Kenny Pickett is going to be up against it, coming off a 6-sack performance by the Titans defense. We've seen a lot of good play from those players in this last game. And I talked to Arden Key about it today. When you give them a lead and they can just tee off on a quarterback who you know is going to have to drop back, you are at your best as a defensive player. So you have the defense, you have Derrick Henry, and then there's the DeAndre Hopkins connection. So he had he tied the franchise record with 3 touchdown receptions in a game, by the way. I don't know that that was talked about, or at least I haven't heard it talked about nearly enough, that DeAndre Hopkins damn near broke the franchise single season touchdown record, or single game touchdown record, having been here for 8 weeks. 128 yards, 4 catches for DeAndre Hopkins against the Falcons. It is his 11th NFL season, and he has totaled through 7 games 31 receptions for 504 yards and his first 3 touchdowns of the season. His average of 16.3 yards per reception right now is 8th among players qualified in the NFL. It would also represent the best average of his career through a full season if he was to sustain it. In the first 10 years, his 15.9 yard average with the Houston Texans was his previous career high. So they're getting him downfield, or at least they did in this game, and they found ways to make DeAndre Hopkins the best version of DeAndre Hopkins that we've seen with the Titans thus far. So Levis is going to be up against it. Pickett's going to be up against it. It's going to be a fascinating game to see how these two teams play out, because we know, much like the Falcons, Steelers and Titans have similar philosophical approaches. Kenny Pickett is the best player, the best quarterback to come out of that, not the best player, but the best quarterback to come out of last year's draft and has shown enough promise to make this thing viable. How healthy he is remains to be seen with getting knocked out of that game here in the last couple of weeks. And now Titans defense, who is going to be out for blood, as will the Steelers defense. It's basically, who survives the best between Pickett and Levis in their very, very young careers. So no primetime on Thursday. Obviously, you guys will be watching a football game. I'll be covering a football game, which I am currently on my way to. We will do a 615 Sessions podcast when I get back Friday. We will do that. I texted former Titans wide receiver and former Ravens wide receiver, Derek Mason. So that is what the expected, what the plan is for Friday afternoon, probably I would say around 3:30 in the afternoon Central Time. It's going to be a great game. I always enjoy games at Pittsburgh. I know you guys are going to enjoy watching it as well. We'll see if you enjoy the outcome of the game, because if you do, like I said, it will be franchise history, because it'll just be Will Levis and Steve McNair alone in the record books if he is able to get a win in his second career start. See you guys on the radio show on Thursday. By the time you wrap up with this, I'll be live in Pittsburgh for the radio show, so you can catch that on Zone TV on 104.5, the Zone's YouTube channel. And if you want more X's and O's breakdowns from Greg Cosell of NFL Films, I will have just finished taping the install with Greg Cosell that is available wherever you get your podcast. So go check it out. And Greg and I talked about Will Levis's first career start. We went through all 4 of the touchdown plays, the concepts that they ran on those plays, and what Levis did well to execute. We also talked about the places that he could stand to improve, which Greg is exceptional at. So enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the football. I'll talk to you at some point in the next couple of days. See you guys.
This is our Colts, this is our team, we bleed blue. This is our Colts, whether win or lose, we love them. For the shoe, beat the Titans, let the world hear us now.